Now we bring you the story of how a man raised by Vietnamese refugees went from a small dance program to the big stage at Boston Ballet. Marking his 20th anniversary with the company, we share John Lamb's pioneering journey to principal dancer. It's a journey of passion, resilience, and hard work. We join him in rehearsal for the holiday favorite, The Nutcracker. John Lam has been performing for nearly 2 decades at Boston Ballet. He's the first Vietnamese-American male principal dancer at the institution. John was raised in San Rafael, California. A child of Vietnamese refugees, his dance career started with a scholarship at an urban neighborhood program, Performing Stars of Marin.
My entire family doesn't come from the art world. It just kind of happened to arrive in my life, and I took a passion to it at such a young age, and the accessibility allowed me to really garner a relationship with dance, which allowed me to have this beautiful career that I love so much.
To pursue his love of dance, John left California around the age of 14 to train with Canada's National Ballet School in Toronto. After finishing dance training, he was then invited to become an apprentice at Boston Ballet, where he has spent his entire professional career. John has held several roles in The Nutcracker, including the Snow King, Harlequin, Drosselmeyer, and the Nutcracker himself. The show is one of the most popular productions in ballet, resonating with the larger community, and with each performance, John sees an opportunity for the audience to be captivated by dance.
It's definitely a big responsibility for the dancers and the artists and the production itself to really empower anyone who comes to the Boston Ballet to be enchanted and to go away with it being like, wow, this is what ballet can do, this is what dance can do, let's go to another program.
But in the Asian community, dance is often viewed as a hobby more than a profession. John's parents held this view.
Even to this day, my parents haven't seen me dance professionally here on the professional opera house. This is like a general Asian culture statistic where you don't want to burden your parents on anything like bad news or anything that makes them have to overthink anything because they've done so much for us. But I realized that it's better to give them the opportunity to be part of my life as who I am authentically than to put up this wall of quote unquote that perfect Asian child, because that facade is not authentic.
Growing up as a male ballet dancer and identifying as part of the LGBTQ+ community, John had to overcome many hurdles. He endured childhood bullying and struggled with his family accepting his sexual orientation. Despite his challenging upbringing, he continues to move forward with support from his 2 children and his husband.
Having children and still being able to dance on such a high level at a company like Boston Ballet really allows me to realize how lucky I am to be in this industry. Last is my husband, who I'm so grateful to have in my life. He's truly given me perspective, and that perspective has really given me the ability to go throughout my career in a very positive and optimistic way when times are very tough and hard.
According to a 2019 national survey on LGBTQ youth mental health by the Trevor Project, API youth are less likely to share their LGBTQ+ identity with their parents. John says it's tough for Asian Americans to move past this challenge, especially when it's ingrained in the culture. Instead, he calls for more empathy and understanding.
I think in Asian culture, we have this automatic submissiveness of humility, where we don't really talk about ourselves, we don't talk about our pains and issues that we go through. We just more or less internalize them, and we just show up and show through our work. Just really try to have empathy for everybody. And it's okay if you want to be quiet, and it's okay to be outspoken, but to be authentic.
Outside of Boston Ballet, John gives back to the local community through dance lessons at Harvard Dance Center, Berkeley, and Boston Conservatory. He hopes to empower younger generations and those with limited resources to pursue their dance careers.
So I love coming in and just really inspiring the students that I was once them, and they can too make it, even if they might feel that they can't because of their situation. They should never feel that their situation is going to disable them from trying to achieve their dreams.
This February, John is graduating with a master's degree in nonprofit management with a focus on fundraising from Northeastern University. On top of this, he's writing a memoir detailing his journey to become a principal dancer.
I hope that the memoir inspires everyone. It's not just for kids, it's for adults, it's maybe for people who don't realize what it took for an Asian American who had nothing and came from poverty and made it somehow into a world-class company as a principal dancer. I think that that pathway was not easy. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. You know, I'm hitting my 20 years at Boston Ballet. I've experienced incredible opportunities here. I'm definitely a Bostonian, and I think it's just the beginning.
And in addition to graduating from Northeastern next month, John will perform in Boston Ballet Winter Experience from February 22nd through March 3rd.